जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुनतीरावनचारी। यमुनतीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोलोकानंद राधा गोलोकानंद राधे। जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to all Guru, Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, and all glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 71, Text 1. The Lord travels to Indraprastha. That's the title of the chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shukha Uvacha. Iti udiritam akarnya devarsher uddhavo bravit sabhyanam matam ajnaya krishnasya cha mahamatihe. Ityudiritamākarnya devarsheruddhavo bravīt sabhyanam matamajñāya krishnasya ca mahamatihe. Ityudiritamākarnya devarsheruddhavo bravīt sabhyanam matamajñāya krishnasya ca mahamatihi. Please kindly chant. Vaishnavis, please. Shri Shukha Uvacha. Shukadev Goswami said, Iti, thus, Udiritam, that which was stated, Akarnya, hearing, Devarshe, by Narada, the sage of the demigods. Uddhavaha, Uddhava, Abravit, spoke. Sabhyanam, of the members of the royal assembly. Matam, the opinion. Ajnaya, understanding. Krishnasya, of Lord Krishna. Cha, and. Mahamatihi, great-minded. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, having thus heard the statements of Devarshi Narada and understanding the opinion of both the assembly and Lord Krishna, the great-minded Uddhava began to speak. I'll also read the translation and purport for the next verse. Translation. Sri Uddhava said, O Lord, as the sage advised, you should help your cousin fulfill his plan for performing the Rajasuya sacrifice, and you should also protect the kings who are begging for your shelter. Purport. Devarshi Narada wanted Lord Krishna to go to Indraprastha and help his cousin Yudhishthir perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. At the same time, the members of the royal assembly strongly desired that he defeat Jarasandha and rescue the kings he was holding prisoner. The great-minded Uddhava could understand that Lord Krishna desired to do both things, and thus he intelligently advised how both these purposes could be simultaneously accomplished. Jnanatimirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Sri Uddhava, one of the most wonderful characters in Krishna Leela. Dear associate of Krishna, in fact he is the cousin to Krishna. Vasudeva Maharaj had a brother by the name Devabhaga, and Devabhaga's son is Uddhava. So Uddhava is a brother to Krishna, Uddhava is a dear friend to Krishna, Uddhava is one of the purest devotees of Krishna. In the Brihad Bhagavatamritam of Srila Sanatana Goswami, there's a beautiful hierarchy. In fact, there are innumerable devotees, there are unlimited devotees. But just to give us a proper hierarchy, Srila Sanatana Goswami has quoted a few devotees there, where he mentions that Indra is great, Brahma is greater, Lord Shiva is even greater, Prahlad Maharaj is even greater, and this is on the basis of the opinion of the previous devotee. So Indra mentions Brahma is the supreme, and Brahma mentions no, Lord Shiva is the greatest. And Lord Shiva mentions no, Prahlad Maharaj is a greater devotee. And Prahlad Maharaj mentions how I'm not even a devotee. He mentions the Lord appeared for me, but I didn't even offer him a seat. He sat on my father's throne. I didn't even offer him a garland to welcome him. He garlanded himself with my father's intestines. I didn't even offer him a cup of water. He drank my father's blood. I couldn't even serve him. What kind of a servant am I? Greater than me, Prahlad Maharaj said, is Hanuman, who set his tail on fire and served the Lord. When Narad Muni approached Hanuman, Hanuman said, what kind of a devotee am I? When Sri Ramachandra wrapped up his pastimes, he left all his devotees behind? No. He took all of them with him except me. He took all his devotees. All the monkeys went with him. But he blessed me to be an immortal, eternal being here. So what kind of a devotee am I if the Lord doesn't want me next to him. Greater than me, or greater than my position, is the fortunate position of the Pandavas, said Hanuman, because the Lord never leaves them. He's always by their side. When Draupadi wanted help in the Kuru Sabha, in the royal assembly where she was being disrobed, Krishna appeared. When Draupadi needed help with the Akshaya Patra, when Durvasa Muni came, Krishna appeared. When Karna was shooting his arrow at Arjuna, Krishna was there protecting Arjuna. Krishna was there throughout, even as a doorkeeper, as a friend, as a servant, as a perfect messenger of peace. So the Pandavas, they're more fortunate, said Hanuman. When the Pandavas were approached by Narada Muni, Yudhishthir Maharaj said, greater than me are the Yadus. Why? Because the Lord comes and visits us, but he's always present in Dwaraka. He's always present with the Dwaraka Vasis. He eternally rules there, but he just happens to come and visit us. So they are more fortunate. Among all the residents of Mathura and Dwaraka, the most fortunate is Ugrasen Maharaj, who was appointed as the king himself with a Raj Tilak by Krishna. But when Ugrasen Maharaj was approached, he said, more fortune than what has been bestowed upon me has been bestowed upon in the life of Uddhava. Uddhava is so dear to Krishna that grihitva panina pani. Krishna holds Uddhava by the palm and sits and discusses confidential matters with him. Matters that he doesn't open up with anyone in the whole creation. He discusses the innermost chambers of his heart's secrets to Uddhava. So Uddhava is most fortunate. And when Uddhava was approached by Narada Muni, Uddhava mentioned, yes, I am the most fortunate, and this is what even I thought. But then I went to Vrindavan, and my illusion was broken when I realized that the love of the Vrajvasis is at the highest peak, the zenith, the best example of devotion. Among the Brajvasis, the Brajagopis, and among the Brajagopis, Sri Radharani's position is unparalleled. So Uddhava in this hierarchy is placed just outside the Brajvasis. So that says a lot. Because the Ramya Kajidupasana Brajavadhum Vargena Ya Kalpita, it has been described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the greatest abode is Vrindavan. The greatest example of devotion are the residents of Vrindavan. And even to be placed second after them is a matter of great fortune. In fact, Uddhava has been profusely glorified in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You find sections in the 3rd canto, in the 10th canto, in the 11th canto, where Uddhava finds his presence. In fact, in the 11th canto, it's one of the longest sections of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna is discussing with Uddhava what later becomes famously known as the Uddhava Gita. The world knows about Bhagavad Gita, but seldom do they know about the Uddhava Gita. Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses, where bhakti is also a part of the Bhagavad Gita. But the Uddhava Gita runs into so many chapters in the 11th canto, and completely in and out about bhakti. There are great details of even deity worship. There's a very famous verse there in that section which is very dear to me. Personally, when I was reading the 11th canto, I was startled by this verse where Krishna tells Uddhava that na sadhayati mam yoga. Hey Uddhav, I am not attained by yoga, and I am not attained by dhyana or dharma, swadhyaya, tapatyago. I am not attained by charity. I am not attained by austerity. I am not attained by renunciation, dry renunciation. I am not attained even by speculative study of the scriptures. I am not attained by debates or arguments. I am not attained by contemplative meditation. I am not attained by the breathing process of the eightfold path of yoga as much as I am attained by yatha bhakti mamorjita. When someone loves me and serves me with all their heart, they attain me because my heart melts unparalleled. Never, in no other process does my heart melt as much as it does melt through the process of bhakti. So verses like this are found in the Uddhava Gita, and that's one of the last conversations Krishna has before the famous fratricidal war that destroys the whole of the Yadus, where it's famously in Sanskrit called as the Maushal Leela. Mushala means an iron club, and we know Maushala Leela is that illusory pastime where the Yadus use iron clubs to beat each other to death. Quite an amazing, interesting finish to the whole story of Krishna Leela just before Krishna's departure. So the Uddhava Gita is celebrated as a wonderful philosophical devotional conversation that Krishna has with Uddhava. Now in the third canto, Uddhava has been described wonderfully. In fact, I would like to read this very beautiful verse. This is found in the third canto. Ya pancha hayano matra pratar ashaya yachita tannaichad rachayan yasya saparyam balalilaya. It is described when Uddhava was only 5 years old. Pancha hayano means when Uddhava was only 5 years old. Matra yachitaha. His mother used to call him. When? Pratar ashaya, for breakfast. Pratar means morning and Ashanam means to eat. Break fast. When you break your fasting, intermittent fasting. You fast for a long time, all night long, and then the first meal we have in the morning to break that fast is called breakfast or breakfast. So in Sanskrit also it's called Pratar Ashaya, which means the first meal of the day. So we see that in Krishna's Leelas himself, as a baby, when Krishna used to wake up, the first thing he wants is Mother Yashoda's milk. He used to get hungry as soon as he opens his eyes. And as he grows up, Mother Yashoda used to tell Krishna, okay, baby Gopal, wake up, I have a sweet for you. And that's what would inspire him to wake up early. So babies love to drink milk, they love to eat, and why babies? Even we, as soon as we wake up for Mangalarti and we're waiting for prasadam to be served, right? So it's a natural phenomenon. And here it's described when Uddhava was 5 years old as a child, and that too for breakfast. His mother used to call him again and again. Imagine being 5, imagine being invited by your mother for breakfast, and Uddhava would say, no, I can't come right now. Why? Because I am busy feeding Krishna. Because he would have dolls of Krishna that he would bathe, that he would decorate, he would dress, he would ornament, he would feed and offer and circumambulate and sing and dance for. And after all of that, he would go to have his breakfast. This is as early as 5. It's a brilliant purport that Srila Prabhupada writes to that verse where he says, comparing Uddhava to Parikshit Maharaj, how great devotees in great families start early in their life. And then towards the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, even I was fortunate in my childhood by the blessings of my devotional parents to be engaged in deity worship early in my childhood. So that is Uddhava right there. Then also in the third canto we find Krishna mention, I stand corrected, this is in the 11th canto. Krishna mentions that Na tatha me priyatama atma yonir na shankara na cha sankarshano na shri naivatma cha yatha bhavan. Krishna holds Uddhava by the hand in the 11th canto, chapter 14, text 15. 11, 14, 15. Krishna tells Uddhava, Na tatha me priyatama. O Uddhava, I promise. I'm speaking my heart to you. Krishna is telling Uddhava, there is nobody as dear to me as you. Uddhava is thinking, how about Brahmaji, who appeared from your own body? Because Krishna as Vishnu gives birth to the lotus from his navel, that same lotus which gives birth to Brahma, and that same Lord Brahma who creates and who gives birth to the whole world. So Atma Yonihi, what about Lord Brahma? So Krishna says, no, Lord Brahma is not as dear to me as you are. Then Uddhava thinks, but what about Lord Shiva? He's very dear to you. And Krishna says, Na Shankaraha. Even Lord Shiva or Brahma are not as dear to me, O Uddhav, as you are. Then Uddhava thinks, oh, definitely Balaram may be more dear to you than me. And to which Krishna shakes his head and he says, Nacha Sankarshana, even Balaram is not as dear to me as you are. Then Uddhava says, definitely Lakshmi, or the gopis will be dear to you. The word Shri means Lakshmi, or can refer to the gopis. And Krishna says, Na Shri, even the gopis are not as dear to me, or even Lakshmi is not as dear to me as you are. Why? O Uddhava, it is only you who very kindly, mercifully became a messenger to me and went to Vrindavan and gave my message to the gopis. Neither Brahma, nor Lord Shiva, or Balaram, or the gopis, or even Atma, myself, none of us could be messengers for my own heart's message to the gopis of Vrindavan as you did. Yatha Bhavan. Therefore, O Uddhava, you are the dearmost to my heart. Well, is it true that Uddhava is dearer to Krishna's heart than even the gopis? The answer is no. The gopis are the dearmost. And because Uddhava became a messenger for Krishna to relay messages back and forth between Krishna and the gopis, therefore Uddhava is dear to Krishna's heart. All of this is in the context of being a messenger between Mathura or Dwarka and Vrindavan. So Vrindavan is dearmost to Krishna. The gopis, the Brajbasi, Sri Radharani are the dearmost to Krishna's heart. And anyone who happens to be a messenger of Radha and Krishna's divine love, they become dear to Krishna. This is the message. So much so that in the Bhagavatam, it is also mentioned by Sri Krishna, No Uddhavo Nyapi Manyunaha. O Uddhav, Krishna says, I promise you, I am speaking the truth. Nyuna means insignificant or inferior. Uddhava, na, you are not inferior to me, anu api, even by an atom. Even from the perspective of an infinitesimal atomic size, just this much, or even lesser than this, as far as measurement is concerned. Uddhava, you are not inferior to me even by the size of an atom, which means you are my heart. Dear devotees, when we discuss the glories of Uddhava, Radharani and Golokananda both are smiling because Uddhava became a messenger for Golokananda to Sri Radharani. And then he went there, and then he became a messenger for Sri Radharani to relay the message back to Golokananda, to Krishna. So Radha, Golokananda, both of them love their devotees, headed by Uddhava. In fact, in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami Pad, when he says, Anya bhilashita shunyam, jnana karma dhyanavritam, anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Of course, we'll discuss this verse some other time, but in the context of today's discussion, Rupa Goswami Pad, through the commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti and Srila Jiva Goswami in that section, explains that bhakti is not only serving Krishna. Bhakti is not only serving Krishna. The word Krishnanushilanam means serving for Krishna's pleasure, which means discussing about pure devotees, like the Acharyas, like Uddhava, like Brindadevi, Tulsi Maharani, glorifying the Acharyas, glorifying the devotees, like Govardhan, the Pandavas, Hanuman, glorifying the devotees, glorifying the Dham, glorifying Krishna, his Leelas with his associates. All of this is bhakti. So the word Krishna there includes his devotees. So when we spend time glorifying Uddhava, in this section we see Uddhava is a mastermind minister. It's quite amazing. Uddhava has been described with multiple adjectile phrases in the Bhagavatam. One of the adjectile phrases used for Uddhava is Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri. What does that mean? It means Uddhava, although Krishna is super intelligent. Krishna is the most intelligent. Sometimes Krishna would play the role of being perplexed. Sometimes he would play the role of being bewildered or confused, and he would defer it to Uddhav. And Uddhav was such an intelligent analyzer, a perfect synthesizer, a perfect harmonizer of time, place, and circumstance, that he could put all the pieces together and analyze and give the best sound advice from all angles of vision. This is very important for a Vaishnav. A Vaishnav should be an analyzer of time, place, and circumstance. For example, every circumstance doesn't require the same response. We have to, just like when we move from one lane to another, when we move from one street to another, the speed changes. You have to mark, am I on a 35 or am I on a 45 or am I on a 65 mile an hour, right? And we have to we have to speed up, accelerate, or apply the brakes according to the street or the lane or the freeway that we're driving on. Similarly, every aspect of life requires very high level of analysis. For example, if this is the perspective, how do I see it from Krishna's perspective? How do I see it from my Guru's perspective? How is this affecting Vaishnavas who are involved in that circumstance? If I say this, what would be the repercussion? If I do this, what would be the sequence or the consequence that will follow? So a Vaishnav has to plan, a Vaishnav has to analyze, a Vaishnav has to use very discrete intelligence before speaking, acting, or deciding. So therefore Krishna himself deferred it to Uddhava, who never made mistakes. It is described Uddhava was one of the rare human disciples of Brihaspati. Brihaspati, according to astrology, is the presiding deity of the planet called Jupiter, one of the big planets. And Jupiter, according to Vedic astrology, is the planet of spiritual wisdom. There are two planets, according to Vedic astrology, which deal with knowledge. One is Jupiter and one is Mercury. Mercury deals with material wisdom. Mercury deals with travel. Mercury deals with blood circulation. Mercury deals with communication. Mercury deals with analysis, analytical decision making on a material front. So those who have very sharp, very well-formed Mercury in their astrological chart, you will see that they will have very good decision making as far as material sphere of activities are concerned. But Jupiter is spiritual wisdom. Those who have very well-placed Jupiter in their astrological chart, you will see they will be attracted to very refined music. Their speech will be quite articulate. They will be knower, or they will be cognizant of spiritual reality and wisdom. They will be teachers, they will be preachers, they will be spiritual heads, especially when Jupiter is very well placed. Now, why we are mentioning that is because Uddhava was not just a disciple of Jupiter or Brihaspati, he was one of the rare direct human disciples of Brihaspati. Now, Brihaspati, in his university, you could say, in his school of wisdom, had a prerequisite. He would only teach demigods. You have to be a demigod. You have to be a devata. You have to be a goddess to learn from him. That was the prerequisite. And even among the devatas or the devis, the gods and the goddesses of the heaven, Brihaspati did not have time to teach all of them. He would teach one student and use that student as a TA, as a teaching assistant, and have that student teach the class. That's how Brihaspati was. He would teach one student. He would teach Indra, and tell Indra, you teach Chandra and Surya, and I can't teach the sun god, I can't teach the moon god, I'm busy. You teach. Regarding Uddhava, the Bhagavatam says, Shishyo Brihaspate Sakshat, that he was not just the disciple of Brihaspati, being a human being, he was the direct disciple. Brihaspati taught Uddhava directly. Wow. Imagine being a friend to Krishna, a cousin to Krishna, and it's amazing, being a pure devotee, a confidant, and apart from that, Uddhava had the same bodily characteristics and features as Krishna. He was bluish black in complexion as Krishna. He smelt like Krishna. Can you imagine that? What a strong stimulant. He smelt like Golokananda. He looked like Krishna. His features were like Krishna. Because you are where your mind is. He was constantly thinking about Krishna. And it's almost like he had Sarupya Mukti. He had the liberation with the same features and the same opulence as Krishna. He was so dear to Krishna, and being so intelligent, and being so analytical, and being the best judge of time, place, and circumstance, and being the perfect example of Vaishnav conduct, the epitome of Vaishnav etiquette and culture. Wow, what a wonderful Vaishnav. And now, this is amazing. Krishna holds, now we are speaking about Uddhava's presence in the 10th canto, where he is most famous for. Krishna holds Uddhava by the hand and requests Uddhava, I have not been able to go to Vrindavan. Hey Uddhav, would you be able to go as my peace messenger and give my letter, my message to the gopis? Would you be able to pacify my friends? Would you be able to pacify my parents? Please go to Vrindavan and tell them I shall return. Now it's interesting. When Krishna was leaving Vrindavan, and this could be for another time, it's quite a long, quite a lofty, quite a deep, quite a broad spectrum of discussion, maybe for another time. But enough to say for here that Krishna, when he was leaving Vrindavan, he promised the Brajbasis that I will come, I shall return. I shall return. Even today in Vrindavan, there is a village called as Seagaon. See, the name of the village is Si, S-I. Why? Because in Sanskrit the word Shigram means I shall return quick. I will be back soon. So that word soon or quickly in Sanskrit is Shigram, which over time becomes, from Shigram it becomes Shi, and from Shi it becomes Si. So even today the village is called Si-Gaon. Gaon means village. The village of Si, the place where Krishna said to the Brajbasis, I shall return Shigram, soon. So the whole village is called by that promise. There's another village in Vrindavan called as Parson Gaon. Parson. In the traditional local folklore, it is described that the word Parson means day after tomorrow. So when the Brajbasis asked Krishna, you said you will come soon, you shall return soon. Please give us a timeline. When will you return? And Krishna said, I will come tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, I shall come day after tomorrow, which is called Parson. So the whole village is called Parson Gaon, where the whole village tells each other, when is Krishna returning? Day after tomorrow. So because of that promise, the Brajbasis couldn't go to Mathura and Dwaraka, and Krishna couldn't return. So now he uses Uddhava as a wonderful, wonderful messenger between the two camps. Now there were 5 reasons, and I'll conclude with this. There were 5 reasons why Krishna requested Uddhava to be his messenger. First of all, Uddhava was highly respected in Vrindavan. Although Uddhava was an associate of Krishna in Dwaraka and Mathura, he was highly respected in Vrindavan. So if a respectable person comes to our fold, in our assembly, and makes a point, we will take it seriously. so that the Brajbasis, the Brajagopis, don't brush off Uddhava's words as if, oh, this is just another member from the same family. Oh, this is just another fake promise which is not going to be kept. So that this is not the mentality. Krishna thought of sending Uddhava, who is highly respected by the Brajbasis. So if Uddhava comes and makes a point, the Brajbasis will think, oh, this shall be true. This must be true. Because Uddhava can't speak something that is not true. So the second reason why Uddhava was sent is also because he was highly respected in Mathura and Dwaraka. Highly respected in Mathura, Dwaraka. So if Uddhava returns from Vrindavan and speaks the glory of Vrindavan in Mathura and Dwaraka, then he will be taken seriously on this side of the story too. The Mathura Vasis and Dwaraka Vasis will not brush off Uddhava's words as if, okay, he's just glorifying another hamlet, another village. No, they will take Uddhava's words seriously because they respect Uddhava. So Uddhava, his words will be taken seriously in Vrindavan, and his experience of Vrindavan's love will be taken seriously in Mathura and Dwaraka. This was the second reason. Now the third reason why Uddhava was sent to Vrindavan is because he was a pure devotee and a dear friend of Krishna, whom Krishna can trust. Krishna can share his message to Uddhava without curtains, without having any without feeling shy, embarrassed, or ashamed. Krishna could just openly speak his heart to Uddhava. Although Uddhava was extremely intelligent, he still took Krishna's message so seriously that he wrote down that letter. Uddhava is so intelligent. He is a disciple of Brihaspati. He can hold different streams of Vedic wisdom of memory. But still, to take Krishna's words seriously, he wrote it down. That's another lesson. When we are talking to a superior, or we are talking to a dear friend, or we're talking to someone who means a lot to us, it's good to take notes. One, so that we don't forget what they're telling us. Second, so that they're convinced that we are there with them in the moment. And typically taking notes on piece of paper and pen, not on the phone, so that they don't get offended that we are actually texting someone at that time. So it's important that we look into someone's eyes and they're saying something important. We say, Prabhu, I have taken down 1, 2, 3 things. I promise I will get it done. So that's a nice pact. So Uddhava wrote it down on Krishna's behalf. So that's another point. And finally, Uddhava, how many points did we mention? We mentioned 3. So the fourth is Uddhava, being so intelligent and learnt everything from Brihaspati, there's one thing he had not learnt from Brihaspati, and that was the dharma of divine love. Braja Prem, Braja Bhakti. And Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita, I shall preserve what you have and I shall give you what you lack. So he preserved what Uddhava had and gave Uddhava what he lacked, and that was the knowledge of Braj Bhakti. And who other than the gopis, the best teachers ever, could be recruited for this service. So Radharani was the teacher for Uddhava. Uddhava walked into Vrindavan as a teacher for the gopis and walked out as their disciple. So this was the fourth. And the fifth reason why Krishna chose Uddhava for this service is because Krishna felt somewhere in his heart that Uddhava had developed some subtle pride in his heart, that I am very dear to Krishna, and I know Krishna in and out. So to kind of shatter that illusory glass, the glass of imagination, Krishna wanted to break through that understanding of Uddhava, that you are dear to me, but then the gopis are the dearest, because now I will bring you to a sphere of reality which has been not witnessed before by you. So these were the 5 reasons, and we see Uddhava so wonderfully shuttling between the gopis and between Krishna as a perfect messenger. So through 3rd canto, 10th canto, 11th canto, in the Bhagavatam, and many sections in the Mahabharata also, Uddhava's position is glorious. With that, we'll pause here. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayataksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Andani Asa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Vivan Vikayanti Giram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. 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 Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Utale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskachadi Satarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Sunyavadi Vaskachadi Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya, 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 Giri Govardhan Jaya Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev Jaya Jaya, Gurudev.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa Saraswati Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Siko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Jai Radha Krishna Gopinath Shaima Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Brihat Madanga Ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Jai. Chaitodarpanam Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreyakairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Adinam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakriba Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina. Thank you very much. Nada pi suni chena Torora pi suhishuna Amani namana dena Kirtaniya sadahari Nadanam najanam nasundarim Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye Mama janmani janmani ishvare Bhavatad. Thank you very much. Aid Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vichintayam Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahena Me Ashlishava padamritamanastu mam adarshanam marmahata karotuva yatatatava vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu sa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Shastastika Ki Jai. Thank you, Mother Radhika, for dressing their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Goloka and Nanda so very nicely. And thank you, Amarendra Prabhu, for the wonderful class. And we wish both Amarendra Prabhu and Swastika Mataji a safe travels this weekend as they go out preaching in Austin. And that'll be very nice. And hopefully we'll see you again next week for a class. And if you record the nice classes out there, it would be really great. And thank you for cooking everything down in the kitchen. I think Radhika's day. So it's really, really nice of them to make that offering for the Lordships.